Hi, my name is Liz Demers. I am a senior partner manager at LinkedIn, and I am thrilled to be with you here today at Demand to talk about how B2B brands grow. Let's start with a story. Two ad execs get into a car. Maybe you've heard this one before. The first exec says, I saw an ad for an Aston Martin and I bought this car. Do you like? Second exec says, but Aston Martin hasn't advertised for years. How is that possible? First exec, I saw the ad when I was 13. I never forgot it. Okay, it's not one of those classic jokes walk into a bar, but it is a marketing truth. The best ads drive sales over long periods of time by building memories that have the power to influence buying decisions years later. Aston Martin's ads clearly made an impression on this executive and contributed to a sale that's far outside of your traditional, say, 30-day look-back window. Many brands, possibly many of you, particularly now, live in that day-to-day cycle of what results we're driving right now. And that's super important. But we need to be able to capture in-market demand and translate that to revenue, but not at the expense of tomorrow's revenue, not at the expense of future cash flows. To capture that, we need to generate demand among buyers that are in market sometime in the future. Looking at research from the Ehrenberg Bass Institute and LinkedIn's B2B Institute, big purchases happen infrequently. On average, companies are buying new computers every 4 years. They are changing banks every 5 years. Looking at individuals, people don't buy a new car more than once, about every 10 years. Certainly not Aston Martins. So what does that mean for in market? The numbers are low. Despite this evidence that most buyers are out of market at any given time, many marketers and many CEOs and CFOs want to believe that advertising works right away or it's ineffective. A survey LinkedIn did recently shows that 96% of marketers expect to see some impact from their marketing campaigns, their ad campaigns, within 2 weeks. Think about it. Have you ever made a big purchase in 2 weeks, like a really big purchase? Maybe you're more decisive than I am, but think about your business. To your knowledge, has your business made a significant purchase, a new phone system, new payroll system, new SaaS software recently? The time between those purchases for many B2B goods and services is long. There's a myth that ads work by moving buyers in market. Ads don't move people into market. It works by building memory structures so that when businesses do enter the market, your product is the one they think of and the one that they know. More often than not, the truth is brands that are most easily remembered are the brands that get bought. Your job as marketers is to start linking your brand to buying situations before the buyer even enters the market, so that when buyers do become in market for a product or solution, they have a challenge, they're in a buying situation, yours is the one that comes to mind. It's your brand. If they're ready to buy and they don't know you, it's too late. That's why this kind of turning the funnel on its side is actually really helpful. It helps you focus on in-market versus out-market. It makes it clear why it makes sense to invest in reaching the 95% of the category that isn't ready to buy right now, because those out-market buyers represent the future cash flows that are actually critical to your business's health and growth. So follow that 95-5 rule. Yes, invest in lead generation, invest in capitalizing on your active demand in market now with the 5% that are in market looking for your solution and your help. But don't forget to invest in reaching out of market buyers to secure that future growth. Now, how to market to those buyers? Imagine if Coke, delicious Coke, marketed themselves based on their attributes. Sweet, fizzy, brown. Imagine if their messaging focused on their metrics for thirst satisfaction or bulk discounts. B2B marketers often fall into the trap of focusing on the functional benefits of their products. We assume because a product has great features, brown, that customers will get it. But in this case, that could be Pepsi. That could be Dr. Pepper. That could be some funky fizzy tea. Companies overestimate the relevance of their product features in people's lives. It's true. And particularly when it comes to B2B, especially in SaaS, things like that, it's easy to get lost in a sea of very similar companies when you focus on those things. It's what we call the product delusion. To move beyond this in B2B, we need to lean into some B2C tactics. Really, what would Coke be without the distinctive red, the Coca-Cola script, the polar bears? More distinctive colors, character stories, that's where B2B needs to be going. But the issue is marketing is so often thought of as an afterthought. Everything is centered on the product. Have a great product, you're golden. This concept of the product delusion means that companies are competing exclusively on product superiority. Need to boost sales? Get a better product, get more products. Our good friend, Jeff Bezos, we're acquaintances at best, but he's famous for saying advertising is the price you pay for an unremarkable product or service. Even Jeff has come around. Amazon is one of the largest advertisers on earth because marketing works. And the thing is, the best product is not the one with the most sophisticated attributes all the time. People don't become in market and then start doing extensive impartial research to find the best product. Almost every time, the best product is the one you know, the one you're familiar with, the one your friend, your last company, gosh, even your enemy used. Why? B2B buyers are humans, and we humans, by and large, are satisficers, especially when it comes to most purchases. We like to think that we want the best, and we'll research and go after and find the best, but think about your purchases. Do you start from ground zero every time you want to buy a new sweater? Perhaps find the best sheep, the best weave, the best feel, the best sustainability practices. Or do you hit the websites you know, something you've used before, something someone's recommended to you? The thing is, that's true with most people's purchases. It's certainly true of mine. In B2B, we are selling to people. So people go with the option that suffices, the one that fits their needs. Pursuing the perfect product, honestly, just takes too much time and effort. So the brand that does the job, that one that's easily remembered, that's the brand that people are buying. Clearly in the follow mindset, talking about sweaters, but even with more high consideration purchases and decisions like what bank to use, people are satisficers. This holds true. Among people that were looking to switch banks, stated this themselves. 50% of them didn't do any research. They just stuck with their bank. Of those that actually did do research, they researched a whopping 1.7 banks, and 3 out of 4 of those people stuck with the bank they already worked with. We like to think we're optimizers, but it is okay to satisfice. You want to know who's never satisficing though? Those Golden Gate Bridge people. There's never enough paint for them. They are constantly painting that bridge. And painting never stops because in order to keep that gorgeous orange hue, constant maintenance is the most effective and cost-efficient way to maintain that bridge and avoid corrosion. Something else corrodes: our memories. I forget things constantly. Mostly it's low consequence. But when it comes to advertising, memories corrosion can cause sales to fall and fall quickly. Because as we already know, people buy what they know. People buy what they remember. And memory is fallible. The Ehrenberg Bass Institute looked at what happened when brands stopped advertising. It's deeply unsurprising. that the effects were swift and dramatic, regardless of brand size, large, medium, or small. That math works. That makes sense. No one's surprised. But the thing to keep in mind is it's not just the cost of lost sales. There's a twofold cost here because you also have to pay the price to regain sales that you've lost. And it is much more expensive to regain than to maintain. Say you have $10 million in sales. That would be great. We hit a rough part in the economy. We have to cut some marketing budget or have to go dark. I think we've been there, all of us, in the past couple of years. Your sales drop 50% to 5 million. To get back to where you were, it's not just growing 50%. You now have to grow 100% to recoup that loss in sales. It is twice as expensive to regain lost sales than to maintain them. Constant maintenance and upkeep is the winning strategy here. Enough math, let's look at my cool animation. To maintain your brand and avoid corrosion, you need to advertise consistently over time. Rather than a burst of ads at high frequency, focus on having media active consistently. Don't go dark. And there are a couple of core benefits here. One, a continuous media presence increases your chance of actually reaching the maximum number of category buyers, and you're more likely to build those strong memory structures that we know are critical to have in place when a buyer is finally in market. It's not frequency you want. It's consistency over long periods of time. It's recency that delivers the impact that helps you drive revenue now and into the future. From prioritizing the 95% of out-of-market buyers who will pay future cash flows for your company, to expanding the focus of your advertising beyond your product attributes to ensure your brand is the one that's remembered, the one that comes to mind when a buyer is in a buying situation, is in market, to using not just frequency, but recency to ensure that you are maximizing impact of your budget dollars now and into the future. Great marketing can help you drive sustainable growth for companies. It can help grow sales, budgets, teams. This is how you can continue to grow resiliency as marketers and as businesses. This is how brands grow. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you today.